Welcome to our podcast, The Words That Make Us.
Consider this time with us as your excuse to take a break from everything.
Every episode, we choose a word that makes us think, wonder, or dream. We read a range of texts that explore different aspects of this word.
And we let our thoughts wander. We hope that yours will too. So grab your favourite tea.
Or a beer.
And join me, Rama
And me, Tony Bailey. Let's go!
So today's episode is about luck.
Hi Rama, didn't expect to see you here today. After your lottery, you told me last week you were going to play the lottery when we were talking about wealth.
Yeah.
And when do you give up work?
Not anytime soon, I'm afraid to say.
But did you win? Did you win?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And actually, it's not just me. I bought the ticket together with my mom.
Wow.
I convinced her to buy this ticket. I've done this quite a few times. I've asked a few colleagues here to buy tickets with me, kind of trying to combine our luck together.
Yeah.
We've won several times. Let
And
me
go
tell
on,
ya.
how much did you win?
Well, this time we won €10.
10 euros. Wow.
But together, I have to split it with my mom.
So you had to give your mum €5.
Well,
so you won €5. And can I ask you, how much did you spend on lottery tickets exactly?
27.
So today's episode is about luck.
Yeah.
So what you've just evidenced here is a good example of bad luck.
Come on.
That even when you thought you'd won, you'd actually lost.
But yeah, come on. This is actually the other day, our colleague and a friend and I bought a ticket together. We spent €20 and we got €20 back. So that's lucky. No?
That's the equivalent of doing nothing.
But the thrill, can you imagine the dreaming that happened between buying the ticket and ending the dream by winning exact
the money
amount?
back.
Yeah, that is valuable, let me tell you.
So would you get the same feeling if tomorrow morning, when you come into the office, give me €10, and then at the end of the day, I'll say to you, Rama, I've got a surprise for you. Here's your €10 back.
I mean, okay, not if it's so contrived like that, but if I mean, haven't you had the feeling or this experience of putting an old jacket on and finding 10 or 20 euros in there? Isn't that a big happy surprise?
Yes.
And?
I mean, I don't put it down to the concept of luck so much. I do enjoy that that experience. I suppose it comes down to how we define luck.
Yeah.
Really. I like that idea of something happening that I really was not expecting to happen, especially if it's in a good light. And I suppose you could say that is the concept of good luck, isn't it? When something happens that you just weren't expecting,
exactly.
and it has a positive. But unfortunately, in life, for every one of those, I've had at least one that's the other way, I'm sure.
I think the key is to keep your expectations very low.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time when I pick up a jacket, I don't expect to find any money in it.
There you go.
And that's why when I do,
then you feel like it's your lucky day.
Thing.
Yeah. The other day I was at a cafe, and then before I left, and it was a very busy cafe, you could basically barely sit down and barely stand up because like you were sitting shoulder to shoulder with other people. And then I spotted a scent on the ground. And the ground was filthy, let me tell you.
Oh,
but
you should never
and I
leave a
had to
scent
do
on the
some
ground. It's unlucky, isn't it?
Yeah, but I picked it up.
Yeah,
so that's my
good.
lucky scent, you know?
Yeah.
So and I still have it in my pocket. So let's see what it brings me. Do you want to
That's
buy
so
a lottery
interesting.
ticket with me next time?
Shall we?
Let's
Wouldn't
do
that
it.
This would be the most sensational podcast.
I know.
If next week we said this is our last episode because we just won 27 million euros.
Oh, that would be so cool, man.
Yeah,
That would be so cool. I mean, we wouldn't quit because this is quite fun, but like we
speak
might
for
quit
yourself.
the average.
I might do it via Zoom. Do you want to hear about one of the luckiest people in history. And then maybe we can define what we think luck is.
And I would like to tell you another story about a lottery winner, but I'll tell you after you tell me your story.
So this is an unbelievable story about a guy called Frayne Selak, widely regarded to be the luckiest person in history, however you define that. So his lucky streak began in 1962. When he was on a train. The train was derailed and it got plunged into a river, killing 17 passengers. Selak managed to escape the wreckage and swam to shore, suffering only minor injuries. So you'd think that would be your share of bad luck for your life, but the following year he was aboard a plane that crashed and burst into flames, killing 19 passengers.
But he survived.
Selak was able to survive by jumping out of the plane just before it crashed and landing in a haystack. Right? His incredible luck continued for the next several decades. He survived a bus crash, a car crash, and an explosion in his own home, amongst a number of other accidents.
Oh dear.
But then, in 2003... his luck took a dramatic turn for the better when he won the Croatian national lottery, earning him a prize of over €1 million. He later remarked that he was happy to have won the lottery, as it allowed him at last to finally live a comfortable life after years of near-death experiences.
Now he's able to pay for all of those medical bills and burned houses and...
Yeah, what's your takeaway from that?
My takeaway from that is that this is a man who lives life to the fullest. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like all of these places that he is going and all of the things that happen to him. And if, this could be somebody else who says, you know what, I'm going to stay home most of the time. As long as I can avoid going out, I am going to stay home. But this man is like, no, let me do more. Let me get out. Let me travel. Let me go. I don't know. And then in the end, he actually played the lottery and won. And this tells you that, lucky things can happen.
I'll tell you what it tells me.
Yeah.
Don't go travelling anywhere that this guy happens to be travelling at the same time, because just from the data there, your odds of being involved in a serious accident are significantly higher if you're anywhere near Frayne Selak.
That's true. Yeah. That is true. That's true.
But what about your lottery winner?
But if you buy a lottery ticket with him, see, if somebody had
He's only won it once.
Yeah.
He's had far more other crashes and near-death experiences.
But actually, this reminds me of something. When I was doing the research for this, I read something about something called the gambling fallacy.
Yes.
And the gambling fallacy was interesting because, like now you said, he's only won once. Basically, he won't win again. But he might win again because, the chances will always be 50-50. So it's not like, oh, he's won now, he's exhausted his luck. It's not like that. But
let me just correct you.
Yeah.
Statistically, the odds won't be 50-50 of winning the lottery.
I mean, okay, we're not talking about the lottery. No, sorry. No.
Otherwise,
yes.
I'd be buying lots of lottery tickets.
I was talking about flipping a coin.
That's true.
That is true. But no, there's this guy who actually, his name is Bill Morgan, and he, his viral video makes the rounds every few years.
Yeah.
His name is Bill Morgan. He's Australian. And one day he went to a lottery shop or something, and he got himself a scratchy.
Yeah.
He scratched it and he won a car that was worth $30,000.
Yes.
And so he was so excited. And then some TV station got wind of the news, so they wanted him to reenact it.
Yeah.
So they went with him to the same shop. He bought another scratchy, and this is all on camera. And he scratches it, and he's like, I just won 250,000.
Wow.
I'm not even joking. And, they go...
Caught on camera.
Yeah. And they go and look at it, and they're like, indeed, this man won even more this time. And so it could happen.
Yes.
I mean...
Now, the question is, though, back to the concept then of luck.
Yeah.
That one way of articulating what happened there is that this is a guy who is extremely lucky. But what exactly does that mean? What does that mean? Because he won the lottery, or won twice. But as you just said, because statistically, playing the lottery the statistical term is independence.
Yeah.
Each time you do this, like you say, flicking a coin, your odds of winning are the same each time you play.
Yeah.
So the fact that he won before didn't make it any more or less likely he was going to win again.
Exactly.
Is that what being lucky is? That you just win more, or something happens that is unexpected, like winning the lottery, more than you expect it to happen?
I don't know, but actually I'm not sure I know the answer, or that I completely understand what you just asked me, but this actually reminded me of something else that I read, and they said that people who win when they gamble, when they win, they make safer bets, and that grants them more luck, basically. They are more likely to win when they have already won. But when they lose, then they make rash bets.
They become more reckless.
Exactly, because they're desperate to make up for their losses. And so that kind of robs them of their luck. So basically, luck in this case is kind of made, not really just granted.
Yeah. Yeah, but take that principle.
Yeah.
You could apply that to what we were talking about last week with wealth.
Yeah.
If you've got lots and lots of money, you don't need to be reckless, do you?
Exactly. You can take your time. You can study your bets. You can.
And it's nothing to do with luck. It's to do with, just system and playing the odds that are built into guarantee you success if you invest in the stock exchange or whatever. Whereas if you're desperate, you will take on the odds, because if you happen to win when the odds are stacked massively against you, that has the potential to be life-changing for you. So you're willing to take on that improbability or that risk.
So yeah, that's exactly what I think as well, and that's what I found in my research. But to say that luck doesn't really exist is also a fallacy. I don't believe that's true. I mean, think of all the conditions that had to align for you to be here today, for me to be here today. You know how lucky...
You want me to talk about sperm, don't you?
That was not my intention. But...
I could see it in your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, back to odds. So, we're all... Yeah, I cannot argue with this idea of this particular aspect of luck.
Of course.
I mean, me being here on the earth, you being here on the earth, is the ultimate example of luck. We were both 1 in 200 million chance. So we competed, jostled, rubbed elbows, pushed, jostled, whatever, to get there.
Yeah.
I mean...
That is massive luck.
I find it incredible to believe that I won, because if you've ever seen me in a crowd, like getting on a Ryanair flight, you won't find me at the front. I've got to get on there, fertilise the egg, get my bags in place. I'm like...
But can you imagine how weak all the other ones were?
Yeah.
If you're the one who won.
Yeah, good. I wonder what the competition was like.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry. That was a bad joke.
Yeah, I feel very... Yeah.
But no.
No, but you can't... I can't argue when somebody says just basic principles. We are just lucky.
Definitely. I mean, luck is a thing. And actually, when I looked it up, I was looking for some scientific evidence that luck exists. And it does. There's this lady called Catherine Page Hardin.
Yeah.
She was a psychologist at the University of Furman. And she argues people inherit variants more likely to lead to mental illness, addiction, and poverty, as well as greater risk of homelessness. While acknowledging the roles our environment and experiences play in shaping our lives, Hardin makes the case that social scientists who want to address the roots of inequity must reckon with genetics. So, our genetics... If we are lucky we get the right genetics, then we are lucky in life. There are so many things that could be stacked against you, like where you were born, who your parents are, what their history is. So, I mean, if you think about it, in all of my family and all of my siblings, every one of them, I am the only one who had a British passport, because I was born in England and was there for long enough before the law changed.
Is this an example of bad luck or good luck?
This is an example of good luck, because when you're Syrian, then your options are limited when it comes to travel. So this was good luck.
Yeah, good.
And that was just very lucky. I was able to travel freely wherever I wanted to go, and they had to really struggle with getting visas and their visas being rejected and all of that. So don't tell me there's no such thing as luck. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm lucky in general, but that was lucky.
Yes. So I think you are lucky to be born in the first place.
Yeah.
You're lucky to inherit the genes that you inherit. That is certainly the case. And just thinking back about our previous episode about wealth, we can't deny how lucky we are to be living in a relatively affluent part of the world where
we have rights.
We have rights, and where we can lead a life that we lead, where we're not poor by any means. And we can have a podcast where we're discussing being lucky or not.
Yeah.
So, but I'm trying to put my finger on what luck is. Is it just a collective term for meaning we should be grateful, or we're lucky, meaning we're in a better position than other people? Or is there something at play here when we talk about luck?
So to me, the idea, and I haven't looked up any of the definitions. I'll leave that to you, because I know.
Shall I throw some at you and maybe you tell me which
I agree with
is the one that you most clearly identify with?
Can I tell you first what I think luck is?
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if it, and maybe it might not be the same as any other dictionary.
It might be something completely different, and then I'll have to coin that, and I'll have to put it in a dictionary.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think luck is when something out of the ordinary happens, the right thing at the right time, and it's like a fluke. It's a chance occurrence, and it happens, and it leads to something very good. That's in the simplest terms. This is what I think luck is. And I think you also have to be open enough to accept it and to do something with it, because there are so many people that have really good things happen to them, but they just don't know how to act fast enough or the right way.
Blind to the fact that they've been lucky,
or not even a way. It's like, what's it called?
Yeah.
What's the word? Pearls before swine, casting pearls before swine, when, and swine here not being somebody who's not worthy, but somebody who's oblivious to the fact that there are, pearls in front of them.
Yeah. Okay.
So what are the definitions you found?
So Oxford English Dictionary seemed to be the most comprehensive here. Definition number 1, luck is success or failure apparently brought by chance rather than through one's own actions.
Yeah.
So
exactly. I agree with that.
I'm playing football. I take a shot at goal. It's going off target, but it hits somebody on the head, rebounds, hits somebody else on the nose, and goes in the corner of the net.
No, that's obviously
that is success brought on by chance.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it to happen, but it ended up with a positive result. And that could also be failure. Brought on by chance. So, there's plenty of things I think that have happened to me in my life that you just put them down to bad luck. Yeah,
you've got to acknowledge sometimes that there are things you have no power over something.
Now, so I kind of get that one, and I can, thumbs up. Second one, luck is chance considered as a force that causes good or bad things to happen.
I like that one.
So you're a lucky person. You in general bring on good luck, or this person is shrouded by bad luck. Like it is an elemental force associated
some mystical
with
force,
something or somebody that causes, that house. There's something about that house that just don't go in there, because
don't buy that house. It'll only bring you bad luck.
Don't walk under a ladder, because that there's a force at play that will cause. So
don't break a mirror.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one, because I think that really. I mean, I don't, as a mathematician, etc., sort of subscribe to that idea, but I understand why we have it culturally. If we look, and we'll probably discuss this, but I bet your culture is littered with these superstitions
Absolutely.
or cultural norms which are about luck, good or bad luck, if particular, kind of summoning or pushing away the forces of good or bad luck by what you do.
It's just about trying to make sense of things that don't make any sense. It's like something happens and there's no way to explain it logically. So you kind of say, oh, okay, that thing was there, or that thing happened, that must have been the reason why.
Yes. Yeah. Incidentally, so if you were walking down the street and there was a ladder up against the wall, and you could either go under the ladder or you'd have to step out into the busy road to get around it. Would you go under the ladder?
So here's the funny thing. That is not some part of my culture, so I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
But I would still not go under the ladder because I don't want that person to fall onto my head. So...
Do you know what the background is for the ladder thing?
No.
So this might be incorrect.
Yeah.
But my reading of it is through the triangle. Mm-hmm. It's a triangle. Mm-hmm. And it's the Holy Trinity.
Oh.
Which is hence why in your culture it
That's
possibly
does
not exist.
Exactly.
So the idea of stepping through
this
triangle is bad luck, isn't it?
But I just think it's like simple safety measures. Don't go under a ladder when there's somebody standing there who might just fall and kill you.
Yeah, but you shouldn't go under it even if there's nobody on the ladder.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, third definition is something regarded as bringing about or portending good or bad things. So, I hate Fridays, always brings me bad luck. So, associated with a particular object is the portents of some good or bad things happening.
I find that very stupid. I find that very stupid. I think you should never do that because then you complicate life.
But you must... Okay, if you were to open your wallet now, or your bag, do you have any objects in there that you associate with good fortune or good luck?
No. But I do have some things that I keep for sentimental reasons and because I think that this might protect me from bad luck. But I don't have anything that... I mean, other than that scent that I found the other day under the table, I don't even know if it'll bring me good luck, but I'm like, I can't let that one go because, it should...
But isn't that interesting? So, you're a well-educated woman and you believe that this 1 cent piece somehow could act as a protector of you when faced with bad luck.
Yeah, because things
Where
are
does that come from? I get it, because actually I've got a number of objects.
Yeah.
And most people who know me would say, I am the last person on earth, being a mathematician, statistician, why would I have these objects? But they're like a little mini comfort blanket.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, things are what you ascribe to them, like, okay, if you say this is going to bring me good luck, then it's going to bring you good luck. It's like the placebo effect, If it's something that makes you, every time you look at it, you smile, then that naturally will lead you to do good things and have good experiences. There is no other way around it. There's no way you can look at something dear to you and say, oh, this is very nice, and then go and have a fight with someone and then, fall down the stairs because you're agitated or something bad will happen to you. I think we, in a way, make our luck or attract our luck by setting the right conditions for us to be lucky.
I think that's true. And I think if you view yourself as a lucky person, then that's in keeping with your generally positive demeanour.
Exactly.
Which therefore becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because with that positive demeanour, you're probably more likely to go out and do things which have positive results.
And that's why when you said we look at things and we say, oh, that brings me bad luck, I'm totally against that. I am totally against people saying, oh, when I hear the crow crowing, then I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a bad day today. I try to actively go against that. So I actually read a lot about crows and how smart they are, and how if there was a story about a girl who took care of some crows or a crow, and the crow kept bringing her shinies and stuff, as a thank you.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of power I want to believe in, and not, oh, something bad happened this morning, or I saw a black cat, or I don't know, my slippers weren't aligned the right way.
I'm definitely more attracted by things that give good luck.
Exactly. I think that's the way it should be.
And I think as a child, you make up games or superstitions around bad luck just because it's fun.
Yeah.
Like you mustn't tread on the cracks in the pavement.
I mean, I still do that. I still do that.
Yeah. Why do you do that?
Because I like straight lines, not because of bad luck or good luck.
Okay.
I still do that, and I do that here in the school
weird.
as well.
Yes, whereas most people are weird, but for different reasons. They do it because, it gives you, I play floor is lava. You can't tread on the edges because they're lava. No, you have to tread on the edges.
Yeah.
Otherwise, floor is lava. But, yes, interesting. So there has been a study of luck by a gentleman called Richard Wiseman. Good name.
Wiseman, I love it.
Yeah. Professor of the Public Understanding of Psychology at the University of Hertfordshire. And he wrote a book called The Luck Factor to talk about whether luck actually does exist.
Yes.
So he would probably counter slightly the example you gave earlier. But he basically says, if you consider yourself lucky or unlucky, it's a way of seeing yourself, which then has an impact on how you behave and how you think, and then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So in a sense, luck absolutely does exist, but it is something you are creating through your own demeanour. So in terms of those definitions that we talked about, that external source of bad or good luck isn't really what we're talking about here. This is the one,
So this is something
from
that's
within.
From your mindset and predisposition. Yes, I that's what I really believe in. But how does that counter what I said? That's exactly what I said.
Now, you mentioned the scientist who said that it does exist.
It does exist because of what you inherit as genes and stuff.
Yeah. Whereas this guy's saying it doesn't exist except as a state of mind you create through. But I think there's a little bit of both.
I think it is definitely both.
They're working at different levels of granularity. I mean, the way I look, the fact that I have no major deformities that I'm willing to discuss on the podcast, the fact that I was born, the fact that I was raised in a particular way, is down to the luck of the genes that I inherited and how I ended up being born. So. You can't contest that, can you? That's definitely true. And
luck is also it's a way of it's a matter of perspective, because also sometimes you might be involved in a really bad accident, God forbid, and you come out in a wheelchair, for example, but you're alive. So is that lucky or unlucky?
It's an example of luck.
Exactly.
In all of it.
And some people might say, no, that's an example of bad luck. Why did I have to be in an accident anyway,
Yeah.
So it's
But you see, it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's like beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Exactly.
Luck depends on
who's telling the story.
You win the lottery ticket, which causes another person not to win it, then that's good luck and bad luck all in one chance event. So it doesn't have to be purely good, does it? Or
this reminds me of a Chinese parable that I actually really like. I heard this a year ago, maybe. So it goes like this. There's a guy, if I can remember correctly. So there is an old man who owns a farm, and he has an old horse that helps him with work on the farm and stuff.
Yeah.
And one day the horse ran away. And so the neighbors came to this old man and they said to him, "Oh, you poor thing, such bad luck. We're really sorry." And he's like, "Maybe good luck, maybe bad luck. Who knows, So the next day, the old horse came with 12 wild horses, brought all these horses back with him to the farm.
Yeah.
And so the neighbors came and they were like, "Wow, such good luck. Nice. Congratulations on your good luck." And he was like, "Maybe good luck, maybe bad luck. Who knows?" Yeah. So one day his son was trying to tame one of these animals, one of these wild horses. He fell and broke his leg. And so the neighbors came and they said, "Oh, we're so sorry for your bad fortune. This is really bad luck that you had to have this gift. And now look what happened to your son." He said, "Maybe good luck, maybe bad luck. Who knows?" So a week or so later, army come to his door, and they are ordered to take all young and able men to fight in the war.
He's got a broken leg.
Exactly, but they look at this young man and he has a broken leg, he can't go, so he's excused, he's spared. And the neighbors come again and they say, wow, such good luck, congratulations, your son can stay and help you on the farm and stuff. And he's like, maybe good luck, maybe bad luck, who knows. And I really like this story because it's kind of like, you never know what's good luck and what's bad luck. Who knows what will happen in the future and what this thing will mean in the future.
Well, we only discuss luck after the event as a means of either justifying or explaining why things happen. Yeah. Because as human beings, we don't get along with the idea of uncertainty.
Yes.
So
we need to explain things.
Always need to write our story and have a justification and an explanation for what happened.
Yep.
And if either we can't face the reality of something, or if something genuinely doesn't have a cause or an effect, it just happened, then we fall back on this idea of good and bad luck, don't we?
Exactly. Oh, God, yeah.
So, which for me then, having started out with slightly cynical sort of viewpoint on it, it plays a really big role. Because, again, if I do a bit of personal therapy, I could spend so much time going over previous events in my life to try and to determine exactly what happened and whether it was my fault or whether it was another person's fault or it was a combination. What is the network of things that happened? Or I could just say,
bad luck.
It's just bad luck.
Yeah.
It doesn't need any explanation.
Yeah.
It's just bad luck. That constellation didn't come up with the result that was expected or hoped for. And actually, that's a lot easier to deal with.
Exactly. It gives you that kind of peace of mind, It's like, whatever will be, sera,
Yeah.
Have you heard of the concept of sliding doors?
I've seen the film Sliding Doors. It's one of my favourite films. I like it.
I don't know if the concept came first or the movie came first.
I think the concept probably came first, yes.
And I really like that. It's like how a split of a second, can really change the trajectory of your whole life.
Yeah.
And this is definitely luck,
This is the road less travelled as well, isn't it? We are constantly... if I put my mathematician's hat on... Luck is one of those few human concepts that really is mathematics at play. Yeah. Because...
Probability.
Every moment of your life, you are a living, calculating probability machine. You're not putting exact numbers on it, but you're certainly standing on the edge of the road, taking a decision about whether it's safe to cross to the other side, based on the probability you're going to get knocked over by a truck or not. Yeah. When you're driving a car. I mean, I find it, I don't know how you feel about it, but, I'm doing thousands of kilometres a year because I drive quite a long way to get here. Yeah. And I find it amazing that, touch wood, I haven't had any accidents. Yeah. How could it be that we are so good at assessing chance, probability of events that we don't experience,
to be honest,
more failure or problems?
There are days where I'm like, that could have been fatal. That really could have been the end of my whole family. Yeah. And it happens, I would say, at least once a week or something, where you feel like, if this, I could have killed someone could have killed me, but we are...
Yeah, I've seen you drive, Ross.
Thank you very much.
I always wait for 10 minutes.
I'm a very safe driver, I'll have you know. But I mean, like, things can go wrong very easily because humans are very fragile, and we can, have a second of an oversight, and then something really tragic can happen. But I don't know if it's a fierce force field around us, or if it's a guardian angel, or if it's luck, or if it's just our fate.
But I think it's probably none of those things. But we don't like the idea of not knowing. Yeah. So it's better to be able to attribute it to something than to nothing. Yeah. Than just to be, the mystery of, who knows what's going to happen on my way home tonight? Yeah, or tomorrow, or whatever. We don't think about the journey in front of us in terms of luck and chance. We just use it as an argument afterwards. Oh, that was lucky that I didn't get caught up in that. Because you've seen, instances where
things can go really bad.
It's been close. What about a couple of our favourite sources then? You see, our conversation would not have gone down well with Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism.
Yeah. So what did he say?
So I have to say, when I first read Marcus Aurelius, the book Meditations is one of the classic Stoic texts, ruminations on life. And he talked about Locke. And I probably would have said when I first read it, yeah, no, that's how I feel about it. But now on the basis of our discussion, I thought about it a lot. I actually feel, it's not quite as he says. But anyway, this is Marcus Aurelius from Meditations. Be like a headland. The waves beat against it continuously, but it stands fast, and around it the boiling water dies down. It's my rotten luck that this has happened to me. On the contrary, it's my good luck that although this has happened to me, I still feel no distress, since I'm unbruised by the present and unconcerned about the future. What happened could have happened to anyone, but not everyone could have carried on without letting it distress him. So why regard the incident as a piece of bad luck, rather than seeing your avoidance of distress as a piece of good luck? Do you generally describe a person as unlucky when his nature worked well? Or do you count it as a malfunction of a person's nature when it succeeds in securing the outcome it wanted? Can what happened to you stop you from being fair, high-minded, moderate, conscientious, unhasty, honest, moral, self-reliant, and so on? From possessing all the qualities that, when present, enable a man's nature to be fulfilled? So then, whenever something happens that might cause you distress, remember to rely on this principle. This is not bad luck, but bearing it valiantly is good luck.
Awesome. I think this is the closest I have come to liking the Stoics.
Yeah.
I really like this.
Well, I think, that idea in Stoicism that it's not about justifying or looking backwards, really. It's about how well you tackle what punches you in the face.
Exactly.
So their concept of luck isn't about something that's on your shoulders and that
it's like your fate and that's it.
Bad luck, whatever.
Yeah.
It's your good fortune to be
that you
strong
can
enough to handle it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to be said for that, isn't there?
Absolutely. No, I really, really like that, because I think no matter what hits you, there are two ways on how you can handle it. I
think the only thing that it doesn't acknowledge is what we were just discussing before, that sometimes the Stoic tradition doesn't want us to analyse what happened in the past.
Yes, don't ruminate.
But sometimes there is a place for that, at least to reflect on what
Reflection,
happened.
exactly. I was going to say there's a difference between rumination and reflection. So reflection is extremely necessary, and we need to look at the past so we can learn, lessons for the future.
And that phrase, well, you just got to put it down to experience.
Yeah.
Which is equivalent to, just put it down to bad luck or put it down to good luck that happened.
Exactly.
If you can't explain why you were successful or why something great happened, well, just put it down to the fact that you were lucky.
I have a question that I haven't thought about, it has literally just hit me. Because actually we were talking today about it in class, and it happened. We were talking about popularity and how adolescents like the idea of being popular.
Yeah.
Do you think good-looking people, popular people are luckier?
I think that other people would believe that they are luckier.
Mm-hmm. And so they would treat you as such, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because you were blessed with some traits and you were born a certain way.
Yeah.
So you hold yourself a certain way. So people think of you as a certain way.
This is the link to what we were talking about before, about having that positive mindset. With that goes a perception that you're lucky.
Exactly, and with it comes your body language, the way you carry yourself, which means people see you a certain way. So it all contributes to that big pot of luck.
I'm very aware of this, right? As a guy who's
a very popular man.
No, as a guy who sometimes comes across as quite grumpy. That I can play the grumpy old man persona. I quite like it in a way, but you can play the everything's bad.
No.
I've just bad luck again. Oh, gosh. But it does drag you down.
I would not want to hang out with you if you were really like that.
Whereas the other side is, there's something good to be seen in everything, really.
Yeah.
And we're all lucky. I think especially when you put back to right at the beginning, especially when you put things in the much bigger perspective of the world around us. We're so lucky.
We really are.
And that is luck, because it's not been under my control. I've just been placed.
Yes.
200 million to 1 chance.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you made it here.
I made it here. Still going.
This reminds me a little bit, actually, if you think about... So you went and looked at the Stoics, and I went and looked at one of my... I wouldn't say my favourite books. I like this book. I know it's many people's favourite book.
Yeah.
And that book is The Alchemist. So I went to look at The Alchemist by Paulo
Coelho, yeah, good.
Have you read that book?
I have, yeah. I love it.
What did you think of it?
I read it quite a long time ago, I have to say. I liked it, but I haven't read any more. So.
I read another book by him, and I don't think I liked it as much. This was really nice because it's full of really tidy sayings, things that make you happy, things that make sense, and you kind of like it. They're wrapped nicely, they're said nicely, and then
it's not verbiage, is it? It's not. It's quite economic.
And exactly, and it also it has something to do with the mystical.
Where does Paulo Coelho come from?
Spain, I think.
Spanish.
Yeah. So he says something here about beginner's luck, which I actually believe in, because to be honest, when I bought my first lottery ticket, I won 35,000. No. Sorry,
35.
35 euros.
35 euros. So
that was the highest amount I have ever won. And that was beginner's luck. Actually, that might have been the reason why I have bought maybe 10 since then or something. I don't buy them very often.
No.
But every now and then when I feel like, I'm feeling lucky today, and maybe if I join my luck with somebody else's luck, I almost never buy a lottery ticket by myself. Because I'm like, maybe we can join our forces. You get your lucky numbers, I get my lucky numbers, and we can get something. And I have won 10 euros, 20 euros, and 35 euros in my life. So maybe one day I will...
But your total net spend on those lottery tickets...
It's like twice as much, 3 times as much.
Yes. That's amazing, because when you talk to gamblers, they'll always tell you about the last big win.
Yeah.
They don't tell you about all of the losses, because they get the adrenaline rush from the win.
But I think, I truly believe that the reason why they got hooked on it is because they must have won big the first time. There's something called beginner's luck, and it gives you that maybe dopamine hit. I'm not sure which hormone, that kind of like, ooh, this is nice. And then you keep trying to replicate that luck again. Anyway, so this is what Paulo Coelho says in The Alchemist. It says here, "I'm surprised," the boy said. "My friend bought all the other sheep immediately. He said that he had always dreamed of being a shepherd, and that it was a good omen." "That's the way it always is," said the old man. "It's called the principle of favorability. When you play cards the first time, you are almost sure to win. Beginner's luck. Why is that? Because there is a force that wants you to realize your personal legend. It whets your appetite with a taste of success." So this is the beginning. And then some time goes, and then we continue the book. It says, "Meanwhile, the boy thought about his treasure. The closer he got to the realization of his dream, the more difficult things became. It seemed as if what the old king had called beginner's luck were no longer functioning. In his pursuit of the dream, he was being constantly subjected to tests of his persistence and courage. So he could not be hasty nor impatient. If he pushed forward impulsively, he would fail to see the signs and omens left by God along the path. God placed them along my path, he had surprised himself with the thought. Until then, he had considered the omens to be things of his world, of this world, like eating or sleeping, or like seeking love or finding a job. He had never thought of them in terms of a language used by God to indicate what he should do. Don't be impatient, he repeated to himself. It's like the camel driver said, eat when it's time to eat and move along when it's time to move along. So I really like this idea of beginner's luck, and then things do get hard. And this is now the question. Are you going to give up and say, my luck ran out? Or are you going to push through and persist and say, no, things will get harder, but my luck hasn't run out, and I am going to fulfill my, what they call here, your personal legend?
Yeah. So do you believe the beginner's luck?
I do.
Yeah?
I do. Actually, it reminds me, like, the first time I played Wordle, somebody told me about Wordle. I played it, and the first time I played it, I think I won in 2.
Yeah.
Either 2 or 3, and I'm like, oh, this is very easy. They were like, that's rare that you win like that. And actually, since then, 4 is my average. Yeah, exactly. Do you believe in beginner's luck?
The mathematician in me wants to say, if by the way, if anybody listening here can hear a slight noise in the background, we are being vacuumed outside, which is bad luck, isn't it? Is that considered bad luck?
Or bad timing?
Bad timing or bad luck during a podcast. Yeah. But being a Stoic, I feel lucky that when we go outside, the carpet will be vacuumed.
I like that.
So that's good. Just hope they don't come in here to do it.
Exactly.
As a statistician, I can't say that I do. Because the odds of winning or losing or succeeding must be the same, unless the odds are increased by the fact that you're doing something for the first time. That might be the fact that, if you take Wordle, maybe you're concentrating more, or maybe I don't know, but I think you're just more aware of your luck or your fortune. If you're doing something for the first time. Yeah. I'll give you an example. My daughter, she's got a lovely dinosaur that you can throw balls at and they stick. And I got the little ball, put it up on the wall for her so she could play, and threw the ball straight into the middle, 100.
That was your first time doing it?
Was that beginner's luck?
Yes, it was. Has it happened since?
Yeah. But not. But I think the fact is, it was the first throw and it went into the 100.
Yeah.
Now, the fact is, if I threw 10 times, I might get 1 out of 10 in the middle.
But it had to be your first.
But it was my first one, so I assume it's beginner's luck.
It is.
See, probability doesn't work on the basis of a sample of 1.
No.
It works on a sample of, your Wordle.
Yeah.
Let's look at this over 20 times, and it just happened that on your first go, you had one of your better attempts with 2.
Yes.
However, putting it in a different context, so I don't think mathematically this is true.
Yeah.
But I think it helps to feel that experience as a motivator to make you more likely to have a go at things or to try things. I mean, imagine if every time, you had a go at a new hobby, a new sport, and it was just incredibly difficult, and you had you
always failed.
You'd never try anything, would you?
Exactly. That's why beginner's luck has to just give you that little, like it says here, what Paulo Coelho said, to whet your appetite for more, so you will try.
So you know what the feeling of success is like, so you are going to be more like. I mean, I think that's why, in teaching context, sometimes it is good to set your students up for early success.
Yes. Absolutely. You don't
want opposed to welcome to this course from hell. Every question is going to be a nightmare from the start. Actually maybe let them experience the joy of success, and then later the harder stuff.
Tony, I haven't had the chance to look at the Quran on what the Quran says about luck, because I think I know what it says about luck. Basically, you make your own luck. But have you looked at the Bible to see what it says?
So the Quran, it just acknowledges that the idea of luck exists.
I haven't done much research, to be honest, and I cannot think. I mean, I've read the Quran completely. I cannot think of an idea or an example where luck is. I mean, I think luck is mentioned when it talks about believers being lucky to be believers, which means they stand a chance of going to heaven.
Yeah.
I think that's luck.
Okay. Well, I had a look to see what the Bible says. You know, any famous quotes? I should be so lucky. Look, that gets not in the Bible. That's Kylie Minogue. And the Bible doesn't really use the word luck. It doesn't really acknowledge the fact that luck exists, because the idea in the Bible is that God oversees everything. So there's no concept of good luck or bad luck.
It's
Everything
all predestined.
is God's will.
Yeah.
So what we see is, that's really unfair. That's bad luck. Well, there's a reason for it, and God has a reason.
It's testing you or something. Yeah.
You don't use the word God and the word luck together in the same sentence, because that'd be contradictory. If somebody is really lucky, then a true Christian would not use that phrase.
Yeah, they were favoured by God.
They would say, God has caused you good fortune, or
or
God has looked on you favourably. Exactly right. God was good to you. Not God made you really lucky with your lottery win.
Yeah.
The idea of a portending force, that is not consistent with the Bible. So from the Bible's point of view, chance or luck in that context doesn't exist. If there is something called chance, then it must be controlled by God. And then the third thing is that a lot of cultures view or almost sort of idolize luck as a charm or as a symbol. And of course, in Christianity, the worshipping of false idols is not
forbidden. Yeah,
is not part of the doctrine. So burning incense to the gods to summon up good luck is not the sort of thing you'd expect. So luck is not big in the Bible
or in the Quran.
It's more about God's way. The lot is cast into the lap, but its every decision is from the Lord. Proverbs. Yeah.
Shall I read you a cynical poem about good luck or bad luck?
I like anything that's cynical, because I
thought you would like it.
Yeah.
So it's called Good and Bad Luck by John Hay.
Yes.
Good luck is the gayest of all gay girls. Long in one place she will not stay. Back from your brow she strokes the curls, kisses you quick and flies away.
Yeah.
But Madam Bad Luck soberly comes and stays. No fancy has she for flitting. Snatches of true love songs she hums, and sits by your bed and brings her knitting.
I'm traumatized by that. I love that. It's really good.
It's awesome. It's like, but really... why is it like that? That good luck comes in spurts, and bad luck comes and stays and brings its knitting.
I think when you feel like you're on a run of bad luck, it is very difficult to pull yourself out of it.
It's like when it rains, it pours, huh?
Yeah. Exactly that. And I think the worst times of my life have been characterised by, I think I've talked about it in previous episodes, like you get that perfect storm of multiple instances of bad luck in different parts of your life. And that whole constellation is really difficult to shift.
But do you know why? Because that's what you're focused on.
Yeah,
and there are plenty of good things happening, but we just don't pay attention to them because we notice all of the bad things happening at the same time. But you don't notice that you did not have that car accident that you were supposed to happen, or what were so close to having, or you don't notice that you were healthy, or that you know. So all of the good things, we don't regard them because there's some kind of comfort in noticing all the bad things happening at the same time.
I mean, like the that standard phrase about we take everything for granted.
Yes.
And there's so many things in your life that you don't at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Take a few moments to
appreciate
just how lucky you've been, the lovely school lunch that I ate today.
Come on now.
No, it was, but all seriousness, compared to what 95% of the world's population had for lunch today.
Exactly.
I should be blessed and lucky that I enjoyed.
I like that falafel today.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah, I had the... No, let's not discuss the school menu because there might be members of the school community listening to this. I had a very lovely lunch and I'm not complaining at all. Yeah. So I love that, though, that John Hay little poem.
I think it's really cute.
Have I got a little poem to throw back at you? Emily Dickinson, 1830 to 1886. Luck is not chance. Luck is not chance. It's toil. Fortune's expensive smile is earned. The father of the mine is that old-fashioned coin we spurned.
I don't think that's true. I do not think that is true. A lot of people are lucky because of their hard work. A lot of people are lucky just because they are lucky.
Do you think that I mean, my reading of that was that that's very much what I think the woman in 1870 would have been saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the doctrine of the time was, you earn your good luck.
Yep.
You deserve your good luck. If you're a sinner, if you're a beggar, you're a poor, you deserve it because of your, the life you lead and the status you have in society.
And I really don't think that is true. We have seen it time and time again. People who just get a lucky break, and good for them. I'm always very happy when somebody gets one, and I would like one at some point.
Yes. Yes.
But no, that's not true. I am very lucky. I mean, everything that happened in my life that led me here has been just lucky.
Yeah.
You know.
How do you feel about? I think we've ended up actually advocating a little bit for the concept of luck and good luck, where good luck and bad luck, where I thought we probably wouldn't. So Ralph Waldo Emerson says, shallow men believe in luck or in circumstance. Strong men believe in cause and effect. Does that conflict with what we've said, or do we disagree with Emerson there?
I disagree with him because I think strong men also believe in the external forces. I think he would be foolish to think that you make your destiny 100%. I think that's totally foolish and totally wrong. You have to accept that good things might happen, bad things might happen, and change the trajectory of your life, and you just have to accept that and do your best around that.
That's good. Because I quite like it when you take somebody's smart comment and kind of...
And you like
rip it up. I think strong men do believe in cause and effect.
Absolutely.
Cause and effect is all around us. However, there are also instances in your life where you cannot explain things just by simple cause and effect.
Exactly.
They're too complicated, or they're outside of the control that you have in terms of cause and effect. So you just have to put them down to luck or circumstance. And I guess if you went to the ultimate, you could, like my analogy about scoring a goal by hitting, you could look at it cause and effect. It skewed off my boot, hit somebody's head, hit somebody's knee, and rebound into...
Could you? Yes. Could you explain it with cause and effect?
That's a cause and effect as to how I ended up scoring when I wasn't going to.
Yeah, but why was that player there to hit it in the other direction and make me score?
Well, I think maybe the two go hand in hand. The cause and effect is the lucky constellation of people standing in positions caused the better ball to rebound into that. So I'm happy to be both shallow and strong at the same time, I think.
How about strong and open instead of shallow?
Yes.
Yeah, I like this idea. You're strong, you believe in cause and effect, but you're also open to things that you can't explain and you accept them. Instead of saying shallow.
What about this quote? I quite like this. This is a guy called Carlos Ruiz Zafón from a book called Shadow of the Wind. They had parted as boys.
I like that book. I've read that book.
Yeah?
So, what does it say?
They had parted as boys, and now life presented one of them with a fugitive and the other with a dying man. Both wondered whether this was due to the cards they'd been dealt, or to the way they had played them. Was it luck, or was it to do with the way that they had reacted to the luck?
Or was it a bit of both?
Or both. So I think there's a lot of consistency with that particular quotation and what Stoicism was saying. That you have to play the cards you've been dealt. So, of course, the cards that you're dealt are important, but that doesn't determine the outcome.
You know what that reminds me of a little bit? Not completely, but a little bit. This idea of you being open to chance happening, because sometimes when you're oblivious to it, you don't take it, you don't do something with it. So I was reading about discoveries that came by chance, and a lot of them. So, for example, there was this, and I can't remember his name. He was a scientist, and he's the one who accidentally discovered saccharin.
Yeah.
The sweetener, and he was working with something completely different and didn't wash his hands afterwards and was eating, and then realized that his food was sweeter. And then he went back and tasted everything in his laboratory that he was working with, which is not a good idea.
No. Did he die? That's bad luck.
Until he went and tasted that one thing that he was working with, and that turned out to be saccharin, which we now use as sweetener.
Yeah.
The thing is, this man, if he had not been a scientist and if he had not been open to the idea of some new things, new discoveries, I mean, he was literally working in a lab trying to create things. He would not have noticed this thing. Yeah. He would have just dismissed it as like, oh, this is funny. I wonder what happened. Yeah. And then he would have dismissed it. Same thing with Isaac Newton.
Yeah.
It's like we all say, oh, it was such a lucky chance that, this apple fell on his head and then he discovered the idea of gravity. But he was thinking about it. He was sitting there. He was a physicist. He was open to it. He was dying.
I don't think an apple really fell on his head.
Actually, I do think so. I read about it, and I think he was definitely sitting under a tree. So I don't know what fell on him. I don't know, some squirrel poo or something. Something did fall on his head.
I think being shat on by a squirrel in some cultures is seen as good luck.
In my culture, if you are shat on by a pigeon, this actually means that you're going to buy a new garment. So whatever it is that this fell on,
because a pigeon is just
it means that you're going to get a new one. It's like it's a good omen, basically. Yeah. This is going to be good luck, and you're going to.
I'm sure my brother won't mind me repeating this story, but I remember going out with him once. We were going out somewhere, and we were all dressed smartly, and we were walking under. By the church under some trees, and there was this splop noise, and it was a bird had done a massive poo, and it hit him on the head and on the shoulder, and he was standing there like, oh, that's disgusting. But you say beginner's luck and all that. Yeah. 2 seconds later, another poo on his head and on his shoulder. So he got twice as many.
See, and you say you never get struck by lightning twice. There you go.
I can read you a story about somebody who was struck by lightning more than once, if you like. Yeah. Interesting. So, people who've been struck by lightning. Now, of course, that shouldn't happen. But there was a man. See if I can find his name. I love these stories about weird people and things that happen.
And this again is like the gambler's fallacy, right? It's like you think that you cannot get hit by struck by lightning twice. Yes. But of course it can, because it's a chance of 50-50. It depends on where you're standing and what you're doing.
They're independent. You're just as likely to be struck twice the second time. Let's see, have we got... Yeah, Roy Sullivan. Nickname, the human lightning rod. And a place in the Guinness World Records. He worked as a park ranger in Virginia. Well, to be honest... Yeah,
it's his job, isn't it?
His job is to be in the great outdoors. He was struck by lightning a total of 7 times.
Oh, dear.
Between 1942 and 1977. Despite suffering serious injuries, including burns, hearing loss, and other medical complications, Sullivan was able to survive each strike and continue with his life. His incredible luck has been attributed to a combination of factors, including his height, which... Is this incredible good luck or bad luck?
I don't know.
His height made him more likely to be struck because he was tall, and his job as a park ranger, which placed him in close proximity to lightning-prone areas. However, some also believe that Sullivan's positive attitude and resilience in the face of adversity played a role in his incredible survival. Despite suffering from a fear of thunderstorms in later life, well, there's a surprise, Sullivan continued to work as a park ranger and remained an inspiration to many.
That's dedication to your job.
Good old Roy. Good old Roy, the human lightning rod. Yeah.
So I think we have come to the end of our episode today. So I'm going to let you go with an Irish blessing. How about that? Something to accompany you on the way home on your long commute.
Yeah, just before you do that, why are the Irish associated with luck?
Oh, that's a good question, yeah.
The luck of the Irish.
Yeah.
The little, I was almost going to slip into an Irish accent then, but then realised that's probably not right. But, the four-leaf clover.
Yeah.
The lucky leprechaun.
The leprechaun, the pot of gold.
All that, the end of the rainbow. What's going on there?
I think it's because they're just very poetic and they love their, what's it called? The oral heritage and things like that, their stories.
Well, maybe it rains a lot, so they spend a lot of time inside, so they do a lot of storytelling.
That's true.
Could be.
Yeah. Or they have to kind of romanticize this rainfall, every time they see a rainbow, every time it rains, they wish for the rainbow and therefore the pot of gold and, the clover and all of that. So they kind
do you have any family traditions related to luck or whatever that you remember from your childhood, or you still do? Or
when I was little, I remember my mother taking it very seriously if the scissors were open.
Oh yeah,
did you have that?
Yeah. Don't.
If the scissors are open, then there's going to be for us it was quarrels in the family. That was what they thought. And if your slippers were the wrong side up, that's also like really bad.
Don't put shoes on the table.
Oh yeah, don't put shoes on the table. But that's not, that for us is not even like, that doesn't even come into question. But for us, they have to be like the right way down, the soles on the ground. Yeah. So facing up is a sign of disrespect or bad luck or something. What else is, so good luck. If you're boiling your coffee and it boils over, that's good luck as well.
Is it?
Because
that happens quite a lot to me.
I think sometimes, when we talk about things like that, it's because we don't know how to explain them, but also sometimes we just want to make light of something unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, don't worry, a pigeon just took a massive poo on you. That's good luck. That means you're going to get a new coat.
Finding a spider in your pocket is supposed to be good luck.
Yeah. For us as well, they say if your right eyebrow is itchy, that means you're going to receive someone who's been away for a long time. Somebody's going to come back.
Gosh.
And if your left palm is itchy as well, that means you're going to receive money.
Okay.
So
my left hand hasn't been itching for quite a while.
If it's the right hand, that means you will be losing some money. So has that happened recently?
I've got eczema on my right hand now. All right, so let's have a parting message from Irish culture then. Yeah.
So, may the road rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.
Lovely.
So if that doesn't keep you safe until you get home...
I feel the need for a pint of Guinness at this point. Because that's lovely, but it just to have that sort of Irish lilt about it.
Yeah.
It'd been even better if you'd have done an Irish accent then.
I could try. But
I don't think you should, because I think it might offend some of our listeners.
Let's not do it.
Let's not do that. So, as a parting gift for you then, let me give you this lucky rabbit's foot that I've got for you. Apparently.
Lucky for me.
Rabbit's foot. Apparently very lucky.
Lucky for me, not so lucky for that poor rabbit, huh?
That's true. Very good. All right, I've enjoyed that a lot. I have a slightly different perspective than I thought I would at the end of this episode than I did at the beginning, so that's good.
Yeah, I am still a firm believer in luck, and I was worried that you might sway me and convince me it's not a thing, but... Yay!
Yeah, well, there you go. But I'm going to look up the data.
Oh, yeah, of course. Ruin it all with data. Why don't
absolutely.
you?
Good. All right. Excellent. So, we'll see everybody for our next episode next week.
See you next week.
Yeah,
bye.
Take care. Bye. We hope that you've enjoyed listening to the readings we chose for you today.
And that our musings have ignited your thoughts.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and those you think would enjoy it.
If you have any thoughts, suggestions, or any kind of feedback, please send us an email using the email in the show notes.
We'd love to hear from you with the words that make you.